Hey guys, something totally different today. Luke for the Matias group. I have been invited into very good friends of mine's house, Mark and Lauren Baldasso. Thank you very much for having me this morning.
Thank you.
Great to see you guys. The reason why is both Mark and Lauren have got great careers on their own standpoint, and they have that entrepreneurial flair, and they have recently completed a master's together. How long was the master's?
3 years part-time.
In what?
Business administration.
And that was just on top of your normal everyday job?
That's it, yeah. At the same time as working full-time and just trying to do all the other bits of your life.
Why was this? Why did you, what was the point of this? Just learning, or was there a specific goal?
We were both working for the same company and they offered to pay for it, which was great. And I'd sort of been looking for something like that anyway, and I was like, Mark, there's no reason not to do it, so, you know.
Yeah, Lauren wrote me into it.
Yeah.
Okay, the boss right there. Okay. No, fantastic. And out of this 3 years master's course has come a product, and that's what I find absolutely fascinating here. Full-time roles. They have gone through a 3-year part-time master's together. You've recently got Oscar, so we're going to have to keep my voice down. Oscar's a 3-week-old first son, so they're going through parenthood for the first time, and you've come out with a product, and that is the train game. What I'm really interested in is learning why you are going from a 9-to-5 type role, and what sort of motivated you to build your own product. Train Game is Melbourne's train game. It's got all the stations in Melbourne. It's just a fun family piece that can be on any dinner table, after dinner sort of parties, kids, etc. And how on earth you build a game, and how the hell it ends up like this? You know, where did you go? Where did you get it manufactured? You can't just go to your local store and have something manufactured like this. Tell us a bit about the story. Where did it all come from? I love this.
Where's to start? I guess it's certainly a very, very long journey, I guess, up until now, so over 18 months. We were playing...
That's not very long
that's probably true, actually.
Your own product. A lot of people are doing it for a lot longer than that.
Absolutely.
In less difficult difficult circumstance, degrees, kids, you've been...
That's it.
Right? So 18 months is not too... Yeah, carry on, sorry.
No, so we were playing a lot of games with some particular groups of friends, and sort of one weekend away playing lots of games over the weekend. We're driving back towards home, and just sort of had this thought, we'd really like to make a game that encapsulates all the favourite parts of our favourite games that we enjoy playing.
And we were talking about a board game at that stage.
Yep.
So we're sort of spinning ideas, and Mark was working an hour away, so he was doing a lot of driving and a lot of thinking, I think, at that point in time.
Yeah, absolutely. And driving, over lots of sort of train lines and across different rail crossings and all that sort of stuff. The hour commute each way was certainly a lot of really good thinking time.
And he came home one day and said, I think it should be about the Melbourne train network. I think that's really relatable, and it's good selling point, and kids love trains and all that sort of stuff. And we decided a card game was probably easier to manufacture than a board game, and just starting out, that would be better.
I think at the time because we were spending so much time playing games with lots of groups of friends and family, that sort of thing, we were just with people, some of our best friends, a lot of the time, having fun, and sort of away from screens, away from digital, away from all that sort of world. And that I remember just sort of playing on these different occasions, playing lots of different games, and just thinking, this is great. We're having so much fun. We don't need phones. We don't need computers. We can just be here we can all be present together and just have a great time. And it's family, it's friends, it's great.
So that's brilliant. That's the why behind it. And I know why. You showed me pictures of people smiling and their kids smiling. People you don't know sending you pictures of their kids smiling. That feeling within is something that you obviously do this for. Never mind, you built it for yourself because if it works for you guys, it works for others around. What I'm interested in is how the hell you took that next step It's not like you just jumped in to, not downplaying services, but there's not as much planning required. You can go into a service-based business the barrier to entry is very low. You can't sell a pack of cards unless you have got the pack of cards and it looks nice.
Yeah.
What was the next step behind? So you've got the idea, it's around Melbourne's train network. What was the next?
So Mark, I've got them here. Mark cut up some pieces of cardboard and wrote some words on them. So these were the very first set of cards. And we just started playing, using a few different sort of typical ideas from different games that we like this and we like that. So we took little bits and pieces from other games, but sort of made them our own at the same time.
That's it.
Played with lots of family, changed rules, kept thinking about different things. We were exploring like the city loop, maybe that was part of it, or maybe, discarding ideas at the same time.
Yeah, I think one day, so both my brothers, my two younger brothers, Ricky and Daniel, I invited them both over one day just after Dan had finished playing footy. And so we had a couple of us here, I think me, Ricky, Daniel, Lauren, Nagana might have been here as well. And we actually just sat right here on the floor and played cards, using these for about probably 7 hours, I think. Time flew. We were having fun. We were, discounting ideas. We were adding new ideas, adding new mechanics to the game,
and different numbers of people playing. How that changed depending on how many cards
taking cards out, putting different cards back in, sort of writing on the backs of them and scribbling on the other side just to see what happens. And we kind of got to the point where we'd been playing for 7 hours and we're having so much fun, and we got it to a point where we're thinking, this is actually really, really good, and it works, and we're having fun, and we can't be the only people that can have this much fun playing this game, so maybe there's something more to this, which is when I guess we sort of thought, well, let's maybe get a prototype made up. So we started sort of locally, just went to a local printer. I think that was sort of through Lauren, went and got all that organised. Did the designs, got all of that happening. There's sort of a lot of bits and pieces, I guess, along the way that result, from going from here to this final product here. And
so you've printed them locally.
Yep.
You've done your own design, which is great. Simplicity is brilliant in here. It's perfectly effective. What did you do then? Because how did you get? I know you bought a few hundred or whatever it was to start off with.
Yep.
Where from? How did you get this done?
Yeah, so before we got the first shipment, we wanted samples and that sort of thing. So Mark drafted an email and sent it to a whole lot of suppliers in China.
How did you get the supplies in China? Where did the list come from?
Somewhere online.
So you literally just
Googled them.
I just Googled Chinese or China printers, cards, games, those sorts of things, and got a whole bunch of results back, and thought, all right, let's draft an email, send these off to maybe 10 or 15 suppliers, and see what comes back.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really, I guess, the starting point in going from this to let's see where we can take this.
Yep.
And I guess there are a few key things I was looking in the responses. First, obviously, you have to look at the price, because we want to make it viable long term, and see where that can go. But also the quality of the response, I think, was a huge thing for me to see that the people we were dealing with, the emails that were coming back, their English was up to standard, and that we were able to have a conversation and communicate effectively. So there were some emails that came back, and it was pretty clear that these ones aren't going to be easy to deal with, and there were some that came back that were really, really good, and that's where we were able to sort of go from 15 down to about 2 or 3, and we went from there.
Unreal. And then they sent you your first batch.
Yep.
You got online. You were looking for retailers, and you got to the start line. You started selling them. You began making revenue.
That's it.
I love it because you had busy lives, and you can be just busy being busy.
Yes.
And that was before you took on the degree that you both did, and that was before you got pregnant and you got Oscar, and there were just very little excuses here. That's what I really picked up on when we started talking about this, Mark, initially. I find it fascinating that excuses are a minimum. You know, you were told it was going to be quite expensive. Okay, well, I'll go to China. Who do you go to in China? You're not from China. You've probably never been there, but you found a way. And now all of a sudden you've got a product. And I find that fascinating. I love going into the mental side behind business versus employee of where it takes you. And I love the story, and I hope out of anyone who watches this video, someone just takes that little bit of something to give them the passion to go out and do something. Everyone's got ideas. Ideation, Robin Sharma says, ideation without execution is completely useless, and it's totally true. Everyone's got ideas, but can you make them into a board game, into a card game that sits on families' tables at Christmas, or whatever it is that your idea might be? I find this fascinating, guys. Congratulations. Great product to market. Congratulations. And
Thank you.
look forward to seeing the next steps.